Navdeep Singh Bains, Punjabi, PCMP, born June 16, 1977, is a Canadian politician who is the current Minister of Innovation, Science and Economic Development. Bains, a Liberal, represents the riding of Mississauga, Malton in the House of Commons after his election in 2015. He previously represented the riding of Mississauga, Brampton South from 2004 to 2011. On November 4, 2015, he was appointed the Minister of Innovation, Science, and Economic Development in the 29th Canadian Ministry, headed by Justin Trudeau. Early life and career. Bains was born in Toronto, Ontario on June 16, 1977 to Harminder and Balwinder, entrepreneur-Sikh immigrant parents. Bains graduated from Turner Fenton Secondary School in Brampton. After completing high school, Bains attended York University where he received his Bachelor of Administrative Studies. He then went on to finish his Master's in Business Administration from the University of Windsor. He has also received his Certified Management Accounting designation. In 2016, he was awarded the prestigious FCPA designation by CPA Ontario for his outstanding achievements, including community leadership. Bains worked as a financial processing analyst at Nike Canada from 2000 to 2001. He also worked for the Ford Motor Company as a revenue and costing analyst from 2000 until 2004. Political career. 38th Parliament. In his first election in 2004, Bains won the Liberal nomination for the riding of Mississauga, Brampton South, and won the seat with over 57% of the total vote, beating his next nearest opponent by over 33%, or over 14,000 votes. At that time, Bains was only 26 years old and the youngest Liberal MP in Parliament. Bains was elected chair of the Subcommittee on Human Rights and International Development of the Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs and International Trade in April 2005, and held it until October 7, 2005, when he became Parliamentary Secretary to the Prime Minister, which at the time was Paul Martin. As Parliamentary Secretary to the Prime Minister, Bains was sworn in as a Privy Councillor, and served until February 5, 2006. The day before the Conservative government of Stephen Harper was sworn in after the 2006 federal election. In October 2005, Bains also became a member of the Red Ribbon Task Force that released a 2006 report on revitalizing the party organization. In opposition. In 2006, Bains was re-elected in his riding with just under 54% of the vote. Also in 2006, Bains co-chaired the Liberal Party of Canada, Ontario's annual general meeting Toronto. Because of his position in the party and the roles he has been given, Bains was seen as a rising star, and had been selected 3 years in a row in the Hill Times survey as the best up-and-comer. During the 2006 Liberal Leadership Convention to replace Paul Martin, Bains threw his support behind Ontario Education Minister Gerard Kennedy, and after Kennedy dropped out before the third ballot, he joined Kennedy in supporting the eventual winner and new party leader, Stéphane Dion. In the 39th Parliament, Bains held official opposition critic portfolios for Public Works and Government Services, the Treasury Board, and International Trade respectively. Bains was also member of the Liberal Caucus Committees for Planning and Priorities, Canada and the World and Economic Prosperity. In January 2007, he was appointed to the National Election Readiness Committee as a caucus representative and in March 2007 served as the youth liaison to the Young Liberals of Canada. In January 2009, he was selected by Michael Ignatieff along with Steve McKinnon to serve as co-chairs of the Special Committee on Party Renewal and tasked with heading a consultation process with the party membership on how to strengthen the party. In March 2009, Bains was appointed chair of platform development and oversaw the creation of the party's next electoral platform. As part of his recommendations for party renewal, delegates at the 2009 Liberal leadership election voted to ensure that all future leadership elections would be under a weighted one-member, one-vote system, where each riding has 100 points that are distributed to leadership candidates based on the percentage of votes from party members in that riding. During the 40th Parliament, Bains held official opposition critic portfolios for natural resources, small business, and tourism, respectively. In January 2011, Bains claimed that the Bloc Québécois was using the politics of fear and argued against their attempt to ban the ceremonial Sikh kirpan from the parliamentary buildings after an incident in which the Quebec National Assembly denied entry to a group of 4 kirpan-wearing Sikhs out of Parliament. In the 2011 federal election, Eve Adams, a former Mississauga city councillor, beat Bains by over 5,000 votes. Bains was a director of the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation from September 2012 to September 2015. He also served on the Ontario Provincial Board of the Heart and Stroke Foundation, including a stint as vice chair starting December 2014. Bains is also on the board of advisors for the Pearson Centre for Progressive Policy. Bains also entered academia and became an adjunct lecturer in a Master of Public Service program at the University of Waterloo and a distinguished visiting professor at the Ted Rogers School of Management at Ryerson University, starting in 2013 for a one-year term. His teaching contract at Ryerson was extended, and he was still a professor at the time of his re-election in 2015. Bains was touted as a possible candidate in the 2014 municipal election in Brampton and was included in January 2014 polling alongside candidates like Susan Fennell and John Sanderson, in which he finished third among voters polled. Provincial Liberal Linda Jeffrey subsequently ran for mayor and won Minister of Innovation, Science, and Economic Development. Bains was the Ontario co-chair for the federal Liberal campaign, and was returned to the House of Commons in the 2015 federal election in the new riding of Mississauga, Malton. On November 4, 2015, he was appointed the Minister of Innovation, Science and Economic Development in Justin Trudeau's cabinet. The next day, Bains announced that the mandatory long-form census would be restored for 2016, after it was removed from the 2011 edition under the Harper government. Under Bains' leadership, the 2016 census response rate exceeded 98%, making it the most successful census since 1666. A major focus of Bains' mandate is to spur innovation and economic development in Canada. Following public consultations across Canada in the summer of 2016, he launched the Inclusive Innovation Agenda. Based on the consultations, the Bains identified 3 priority areas for Canada's innovation agenda: finding better ways for more Canadians to get the skills the global economy demands, people harnessing emerging tech that would create industries and jobs that never existed before, as well as reinvigorate existing ones, technology, and encouraging more Canadians to start and grow companies that are competitive in the global economy. His portfolio also includes responsibility for the 6 regional development agencies across Canada: Atlantic Canada Opportunities Agency, ACOA, Canada Economic Development for Quebec Regions, CED, Canadian Northern Economic Development Agency, CANA, Federal Economic Development Agency for Southern Ontario, FEDIF Ontario, Federal Economic Development Initiative for Northern Ontario, FEDNA, Western Economic Diversification Canada, WD. In December 2016, he also launched Connect to Innovate, a program that will invest $500 million to bring high-speed internet to rural and remote communities across Canada. The Hill Times featured Bains on the cover of their Power and Influence magazine in 2017.